So I've had my current laptop for about 4 years now, and it's been great for what I've been doing prior to video editing. It's an Asus ZenBook Pro UX501, I believe. It's got a gorgeous 4K screen, and it's got a pretty good i7 for when it came out. However, it's kind of been limiting me in my ever-expanding video editing needs.
More power! Right now!
I mean, at this point, it's not even a laptop anymore. I have it hooked up to 2 monitors and it never goes anywhere. I'm also not a fan of the idea of having a discrete GPU on something with a battery that can only last like an hour and a half at its full potential. And I don't want to lose my entire system either, just because my graphics card blows out.
And I've decided that I want to die.
So this video pretty much is just going to be me talking about cool PC hardware that I want and may not be able to afford. May not? Who am I kidding? I'm definitely not going to afford all of this. I've also never built a PC before, so this will be an interesting, maybe in a couple years, look back as to what I knew or did not know in terms of building. God, I want a Ryzen 3900X so badly. I don't plan on using my PC for gaming at all, so it's probably super overkill to have 12 cores. But CPU encoding pretty much should insanely speed up compared to my computer right now. But on the bright side, I know the CPU definitely won't be the bottleneck in my system.
But we believe that we want as many people as possible to have the Ryzen 9 3900X. So when this goes on sale, it will retail for $499.
Thank you, Lisa Sue. Very cool. Although with the rumors of X570 motherboards having a pretty hefty price hike over previous gen equivalents. But you know what? With all those PCI Express lanes and PCIe 4.0, it'll be nice to have all of those high-speed USB ports when I'm literally almost out of ports between my laptop and using one of my monitors as a USB hub. So that'll be nice. I'm not currently set on a particular case. I know I specifically want a mid-tower because anything smaller, to me, it just seems like too much of a pain to try to get everything in that small of a system. And those giant cases, I want to be able to move my PC if I need to. I am interested in getting a case with tempered glass on the side. But I have a perpetual fear of stuff falling off a table or a surface and onto the ground.
No!
So I probably just put it on the ground anyways. I am definitely getting 32 gigs of RAM. Not specifically sure what kit yet, or if for a specific DDR4 speed, but I definitely know I want 32 gigs. I mean, editing this video right now, I'm checking my RAM usage, and Google Chrome is legit using 2 gigs of memory, despite me only having 3 tabs open and a couple of plugins. And Premiere Pro's usage is going to get way worse when I go from 1080p to 4K. For storage, I definitely know I'm going to get the biggest SSD possible, and a regular SSD, like a SATA SSD, not an M2 form factor. I kind of have a bad taste in my mouth from mechanical hard drives. I currently use one with my laptop to store all of my projects on, but I bought a 3.5-inch hard drive adapter for my PlayStation 4 because I wanted a ton more space, and 500 gigs wasn't cutting it, and pretty much you couldn't find anything over 2 terabytes in a 2.5-inch form factor anyways, unless it was a crazy expensive SSD. But the PS4 bottlenecks even when using an SSD, so what's the point of using it? But pretty much the hard drive that I bought for the PS4, it's broken like twice since I've had it. I got it like 2 years ago. It was just a giant pain to send it in and then get it back, and then it would work again, for 6 to 8 months, and then it broke again, and I just didn't want to send it in again. I definitely need a main 4K monitor for my computer. Ideally, I'd get one of those IPS 4K monitors that has, HDR 1000 nit, certification, but those go for $2,000. In terms of cheaper alternatives, I've actually been looking into the LG 27UL 850-W. I think it's actually a really interesting, cheaper alternative for something like that. It's got good color accuracy for the price it's at, and I'm not going to be grading feature films on this, so the lack of nits I don't think is going to bother me all that much. In terms of graphics cards, I'm actually kind of having a hard time picking one. On one hand, AMD's video cards, usually having more VRAM, is better if I eventually start using plugins that take up a ton of VRAM compared to NVIDIA cards. But I want to record gameplay through a capture card. So for GPU accelerated video encoding, NVIDIA, from what I understand, is way, way better.
GPU encoder goes, it's bad. Some people can only get it to work by encoding to H.265 with it, which limits you to only using it for recording, not streaming, and I just generally can't recommend it.
Although I noticed for the Navi 5700 GPUs, I saw in the corner there's something about, faster 4K encodes and decodes.
And then we also have two new features that we're launching with the Navi family, which is the Radeon Media Engine for 4K encode, 4K decode, and also FreeSync HDR support.
So maybe AMD actually, improved their video encoder a lot for these processors, so I don't know. I'd love to get a Radeon 7 for just the sheer amount of headroom it'd give me in terms of not just VRAM, but just pure computational power. It'd be nice if I could record my desktop in something like 8K and then zoom in and then not lose any detail at all if I put out a video in 4K. Speaking of capture cards, I was watching a My Life in Gaming video talking about 4K TVs and just general 4K setup, and they talked about the AverMedia Live Gamer 4K as a really good way to record 4K game footage. Now, two things mainly piqued my interest about this. One is that it can record HDR, and secondly is that it supports apparently a bunch of oddball resolutions and frame rates as well. I mean, it's not Elgato, but I think my impression of Elgato is that their products are kind of overrated. I don't have a particular choice of power supply. I mean, as long as it's good, silver, gold rating. I'm not looking for something that can do 1,000 watts, but, something that could power, the CPU, all the stuff that X570 could do, a discrete GPU, and a capture card. So that's it in terms of my dream PC, as I like to call it. No, this video is getting way, way too long, and it's taken so long to edit. All right. Thanks for watching. Bye.